Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I have a look for you which has been very highly requested. It's very similar to the look I used to enter the Rimmel London look competition, and it's a classic brown smoky eye with very fluttery fake lashes and a dark red lip, a great option for this autumn winter season. So if you like the look, please keep watching. So we're going to start everything off with the Estee Lauder Clear Difference Advanced Blemish Serum as usual. I'm only using this down the centre of my face, and it's great for minimising pores and stopping the T-zone from getting too oily. I'm then going to follow with my Kelual Ducray Moisturiser. It's a great option if you want very hydrated skin but at the same time you don't want it to feel oily, and it's a great base for makeup. I'm then going to follow using the Estee Lauder Idealist Cooling Eye Cream, which is great to counteract under eye darkness, and at the same time it's got a ceramic applicator which is very nice and cooling, and it depuffs the under eye area. I'm then going to use the Hydra Life BB Cream by Dior as the primer, and I'm applying a very thin layer of this all over my face. It's great because it helps your foundation stick and last throughout the whole day, and it also evens out a little bit your skin tone and adds a bit of coverage, so it's a great option as a primer. I'm then going to follow using the YSL Touche Eclat foundation. I love this foundation because it's really brightening, but at the same time it doesn't make your skin look overly dewy or oily. It's also great because it's very buildable, so I apply a very thin layer all over my face, and because I've used the BB cream underneath, I don't really need any more coverage, but if you do need more coverage in certain areas, you can definitely apply a second or a third layer to build it up. I'm then going to use a damp beauty blender, and using tapping motions I'm going to blend all the foundation into my skin, and then using a red lipstick I'm going to colour correct a little bit the darkness under my eyes, and this will just tone down the blue under my eyes. And then we're going to follow up with a Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage, and using the darker shade in the SC5 I'm just going to go over this to tone down the red and make it a little more salmon. And then I'm going to use my most favourite concealer, the Clé de Peau concealer in the colour Ochre, and I'm going to use this to conceal over the areas that I colour corrected, so under my eyes. I'm also going to use it to add a little bit more coverage down the sides of my nose, the bridge of my nose, and cover any blemishes that I have. I'm then going to use tapping motions with my fingers to blend this in, and it's great to do this with fingers because the warmth of your body helps the product kind of melt in and mesh with your skin a little bit better. And then once again, using a damp beauty blender, I'm just going to go over all the areas which I concealed to make sure that all the product is blended in nicely and there's no harsh lines. I'm then going to use the Nars Creamy Concealer to highlight the area under my eyes and a few other points on my face. After concealing, it's nice to highlight just to add a little extra brightness to this area. So I'm going to use this product and create a line from this corner of my eye to the corner of my nose, and then an up on an angle to the side of my face. I'm also going to highlight the bridge of my nose, the centre of my chin, and the centre of my forehead. And then using my finger once again and tapping motions, I'm going to blend the product out. And again, the warmth of my finger is going to help the product to mesh with my skin. And once again, using my damp beauty blender, I'm just going to go over all the areas that I highlighted just to make sure that everything is blended in properly. I'm then going to use my LA Girl Pro Concealer to add a little bit of contouring to my face. So I'm just going to dot it first in the areas where I want to contour, and then using the brush that comes with the concealer itself, I'm just going to spread it out to create a sort of line in the areas where I want to contour. So I'm contouring under my cheekbones, a little bit around my jawline, a little bit down the sides of my nose, and a little bit on my forehead. And then I'm going to use a brush to blend this out and make sure it's all kind of blended into my skin, making sure there's no kind of harsh lines. This is great in order to define your face features. It helps you look like you've got a slimmer, more angular face, so it's fantastic if you want to look like you've lost a little bit of weight. And then going in again with my damp beauty blender, I'm just going to go over all the areas where I contoured, just making sure that everything is nicely blended in and there's no harsh lines. And then I'm going to move into the most important part of the process, which is setting your concealer, setting your highlighter and your contour. To set my highlighter and concealer, I'm going to use the Anastasia contouring kit, and I'm going to use the yellow powder in this kit, which helps intensify the highlight, and it's a great powder because it really makes the product stick to your skin and stop it from like wearing out during the day or sliding around. I'm then going to use the Chanel loose powder to set the rest of my face, and I'm just going to first tap it onto the areas where I want to set the product, and then just brush off the excess to make sure that the skin doesn't look cakey. I'm then going to prime my eyelids using the Christian Dior primer, which is basically just a neutral matte cream eyeshadow, and this is great because it evens out your skin tone and it also stops your eyelids from getting oily and makes eyeshadows last a lot longer. I'm then going to use this matte medium brown shade by E.L.F. to define my crease and use it as the transition colour. I'm going to apply it using a Sigma fluffy brush, and I'm just going to kind of press it into my lid and use circular motions to blend it out. I'm then going to use the same eyeshadow and the same brush to really intensify the outer corner of my eye. And as you can see, I'm really building it upwards because my eye is a little bit hooded and otherwise the eyeshadow will not show. Now, using the eyeshadow quad by Charlotte Tilbury in Sophisticate, I'm going to take the lightest brown shade and I'm going to apply that all over my lid, just underneath the crease, using another blending brush, but this time a smaller one. I'm then going to continue by applying the medium brown shade in the Charlotte Tilbury quad using this pencil brush, and I'm going to press that into the crease to make sure it really defines the crease line. And then using this lightest vanilla shade in the eyeshadow quad, I'm just going to highlight underneath my brow bone and use the big fluffy brush I used initially to just blend everything out and make sure there's no harsh lines. And now taking a wipe, I'm just going to clean up and make sure there's no fallout. To line my lips, I'm using the lip liner by Chanel in the colour Roux-Siena, and I'm using this to define all the outer edges of my lip. I'm just overlining them slightly on the corners because my lips kind of go in at the sides, and then I'm going to use the same lip liner to fill them in before I apply any lipstick so that it lasts a lot longer. I'm then going to go in with my favourite red lipstick in Rouge Allure Pirate by Chanel, and I'm going to fill in all my lips with this using the lip brush at the end of the lip liner. I'm then going to use my concealer brush just to clean up around the edges and make sure the lips are really defined. And using my favourite black eye pencil by Estee Lauder, I'm just going to define the inner rim of my eye and also line the upper waterline. And using the same eye pencil, I'm just going to line the upper lash line because I find that this really helps my gel eyeliner stick and last longer. And then using my Estee Lauder gel eyeliner in black, I'm just going to line my upper lash line and create a little flick at the end. I'm going to follow the trace I made using the pencil, and then using this angled brush, I'm just going to create a little flick on the outer edge. And then I'm going to go back in with my Clé de Peau concealer and just apply a little bit to the areas where I cleaned up with a wipe earlier and removed my makeup. I'm then going to go in with the darkest brown sparkly shade from the Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow quad in Dolce Vita, and I'm going to use the same angled brush I used to apply my eyeliner to just line my bottom lash line. I'm only going to line 3/4 of the way because I find this makes my eyes look bigger. And then to fill in my brows, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift, and I'm first going to brush my eyebrows downwards, fill in the areas which need filling. I basically just follow the same shape of my eyebrows and just fill in any gaps. And then I'm going to take a spoolie and just brush over them to make sure it all looks natural. Then using my Anastasia contour palette, I'm just going to go in and firstly bronze up my face using the medium brown shade, and then using the cooler brown tone, I'm just going to go in and define the contours of my face once again. So I'm going to go over all the areas which I previously had contoured using the cream contour. So that's just under my cheekbones, along my jawline and on my forehead. And then I'm just going to go in with a Nars concealer once again to clean up the contour and make the line a little bit more defined. I'm going to blend it out using my beauty blender, and then I'm going to go in again with the same contour brush without cleaning it up and without adding any more powder, just to make sure that there's no harsh edges. I'm then going to contour my nose using the same cool toned brown powder using a small fluffy brush, and then I'm going to use the yellow powder in the contour palette to just make sure that I blend out the edges, and then use a beauty blender to just go over this. Then using Charlotte Tilbury blush in the colour First Love, I'm going to use my big fluffy Dior blush brush to sweep some over my cheeks to add a little more definition and a little bit more colour to my face. And then using the same contouring Charlotte Tilbury brush, I'm going to use the Kevyn Aucoin highlighter to just add a little bit of a highlight to the tops of my cheekbones, the sides of my forehead and the bridge of my nose. And using my Shu Uemura eyelash colours, I'm just going to curl my eyelashes and going with the Max Factor False Lash Mascara and apply 2 coats on my top lashes and 2 coats on the bottom lashes. I'm not going to bother too much with the mascara because I'm going to go in with some falsies right now, and I'm going to apply the Simply Fleur by Fleur de Force. They are amazing, super natural looking and great option for daytime. Now that I've finished my look, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Chanel pressed powder just to remattify the centre of my face and make sure everything is set and won't budge. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the All Nighter Fixer Spray by Urban Decay just to make sure everything lasts. And this is the final look. I hope you like it. If you do like it, please don't forget to share, subscribe and comment, and please do let me know if there are any other looks you would like me to film. Thank you very much for watching and see you in my next video.